before this historic event can take place, it must be restored to its former glory. Years of adverse weather conditions and neglect have taken their toll.
It's bringing it back to life, making our history come alive, making people become involved in it and actually see that history can be something very, very dramatic, very exciting, and going back in a sense to what it must have been like then. So it gives it a dynamism that isn't present otherwise. And here in Gibraltar we have so much which certainly can do with bringing up the level, shall we say, of interaction and excitement. So that was the idea behind it, really start things off with a bang.
I would imagine the logistics involved in organising an event like this must have been pretty tremendous.
Quite so. I'd like to hope that in the future it'll be a bit easier, precisely because it hadn't been done before, and we were very concerned to be sure that we were as safe as possible in all aspects of the things that we did, and we obviously approached all the correct authorities and experts, etc. So because of that, we required, it did take a lot of time, it did take a tremendous amount of hours, but I mean, at the end it all came through and it happened, and it was wonderful to see, and I think everyone was very pleased. So it was worth it, certainly.
Early on Sunday morning, the gunpowder arrived amidst high security. 2 gunsmiths, flown out especially from the UK, began the delicate process of preparing the gunpowder, mixing it with sand, plus a secret ingredient, and packing it into a canvas bag. The firing device was also inserted.
This morning we had to we actually load the gun this morning with a £10 black powder charge, which is basically very coarse blasting powder, gunpowder. We had to reduce the charge for various reasons, so we added a £10 bag charge, loaded up with sand. It was packed in a canvas bag, tamped down, and then we put 3 detonators inside, and then we rammed him down to the muzzle, rammed him down nice and tight. You can never be sure with black powder. It's very unpredictable whether it's going to ignite because it's such a long distance. We had to bring the cable through the muzzle end and not through the back of the touch hole, so it was a bit dodgy. We wasn't too sure whether we had a circuit or not, although the switches will say there's a circuit, but not necessarily means it's going to go off.
The time arrived to put the gun to the test. Men from the Gibraltar Regiment reenacted the gun loading, dressed in period costume. This provided the finishing touches to what was going to be a very special moment.
Right, turn. Number 1, down. Sir. Number 1. 2. Number 3. 4. 5. 6. 3 judgments. Take post. Take post. 2, 3. 2, 3. Range 900 yards! Range 900 yards! Range 900 yards! Left loading chamber! Left loading chamber! Left loading chamber! Left loading chamber! With shot load! With a shot load! With a shot load! Clear! Ready! Number 3, rear! Detachments! Ra! Detachments! Ra! Plug ears! Fire! Stop! Stop! Mike side! Mike side! Detachments! Rear! Detachments rear! Right! Turn! Right! Turn! Cannon! Ace! Start! Easy!
The firing of the gun was a great success.
I think it would be lovely to actually be able to fire it possibly on special events, special occasions. Certainly the possibility of setting up something like a reenactment group here in Gibraltar would again be very exciting, to give life again and to really allow people to become immersed in what these things must have been like.
This gun is surviving in a far better state than ours. In our case, we've already spent huge sums of money in order to get it in shape, and we still have to spend even bigger sums of money to return all the missing bits. But in your case, you are fortunate because this is still complete. And in fact, proof of that is yesterday's very good find, I have to say, when we've dug an exploratory hole on the floor of the emplacement, where we actually found what I was suspecting that we were about to find, which is part of the traversing gear, which was all hydraulic. Very important because it is history's first, and you still have it here, all linked up, all chained up, linked to the gun, as if it's ready to move.
The excavations are fantastic because what Mario, as he said, suspected and we found are bits of the original traversing mechanism, which would have allowed the gun to swivel. The implications of this are obviously more than just the finding the mechanism, but certainly if that is there, the possibility is that very much more is also there, that it was just very quickly covered up and concreted over. If that is the case, then we move from having a gun to having a system. And that is tremendously important because, as we mentioned before, this was the first of a hydraulically mechanized gun. So it really is a milestone in the industrial era, from having totally things operated by hand to mechanized, and that really is particularly important for Gibraltar because it means we have here in Gibraltar a unique example of one of the first hydraulic operated. It moves us to having heritage not only from different periods in history, but from the industrial historical period, which is very, very important because in many parts of the world the importance of this time is being recognized now, the development of the factories, mass production, etc. And many of these sites are being put, for example, in UNESCO World Heritage List as universally important sites. Now we have a universally important site here in Gibraltar, if the entire system is here at Napier. So it's very exciting.